Hello, Keep Singing members. Happy Tuesday. It is August and my kids start school tomorrow. I start teaching at the conservatory today. We got back from Europe last Thursday and I am thoroughly sick, as you can probably hear. So I thought, I can talk is just a lot of congestion causing this. So if you can relate to this, listen up. Yeah, pay attention to today. We are going to talk about what to do. How do I practice when I'm sick? It happens to me, I would say, about 4 to 5 times a year, which is better than it used to be. It used to be 4 to 8 months a year. Yuck. So this is way better, way better, way better. It turned out I had a sinus blockage, but I have a whole email series on that and a whole, I've talked about that, I think probably a lot, probably ad nauseum. So I won't go into that now, but that was causing me to be repeatedly sick. So today I'm going to give you some tips on how do I function, because I will have to go teach for about 4 hours this afternoon, private lessons, and need to be able to utilize my voice. So one of the things I just did in the last 30 to 45 seconds that you might have noticed, but if you haven't noticed, I will point it out. I raised the pitch level of my voice, and you may have noticed that a lot of the graveliness kind of disappeared. Not all of it, probably about 60 to 75%. There's still graveliness because I'm sure my vocal folds are somewhat inflamed and irritated because of all the congestion, just a lot of it. So, but when you raise the pitch of your voice, you utilize your vocal folds in different ways. When you move the pitch of your voice, what is happening is your vocal folds are lengthening or shortening and thickening or thinning. The higher your voice goes, the thinner your vocal folds are, and that means that there's less of the vocal folds meeting at where they meet. And when you go lower, there's more of meeting of the vocal folds, but they literally do the vocal cords thicken and thin according to how you are utilizing your voice. And so we have the lengthening and the thinning and the shortening and the thickening. And when you talk like this all day long and you allow yourself to be, say when you're tired, it happens, okay? If you're sick, you're usually tired. But when you just talk like this all day long, you're going to actually irritate the membranes even more than if you would raise the pitch level of your voice and vary the pitch level quite a bit. So I am going to do I am doing just that. So that is tip number 1. Raise the pitch level of your voice, the average pitch level, and vary it significantly as you speak throughout the day. Second thing is talk as little as possible. So, and I do that. The last couple of days I've spent a lot of, you know what? Tip number 1 should have been sleep. Your body absolutely repairs itself during sleep. I've just listened to some podcasts, a whole series of scientific studies on sleep, and it's even more fascinating to me now than it was before. Sleep is amazing. That is when your body restores and it restores the structure of the proteins at a cellular level in every cell. Over time, the proteins can fold in a way that is not helpful to cellular function. When you sleep, it helps them unfold and go back to their proper position, and thus not clog things up at the cellular level. So I found that fascinating. To be quite honest, I did not understand all of it because it was a scientific discussion, but I find it so fascinating. And I wanted to know all that I could know, of course, about getting well and about health for singers, etc. But the other thing that happens when you are sleeping is your body flushes out toxins. It helps during sleep, your body is able to process the toxins in a better way. Now, sleep is not the only thing you need. There's other things. You need to up your water intake. That's going to be a tip too, but sleep. Don't try to just keep pressing through. I do understand feeling the need to press through and force yourself to get things done when you are sick or just feeling below par, but every opportunity you can, and chances are good, you have more opportunities to sleep than you are taking. If you will really analyze your schedule, are you really needed for this, that, or the other? You might think you are, feel you are, or want to be, but you probably are not. Excuse me, I have an eyelash in my eye. You probably are not. No, what's the word? No shade intended. No insult intended. But we, some of us, myself included, tend to feel like I need to be there. I need to be there. You don't need to be there. I don't need to be there for everything. My kids are okay. And even when they were younger, and I would be sick, because remember, I was sick a lot when my kids were younger. I would set things up in a way that I could feel good about taking even a 20-minute nap. But the more sleep you can get, the better. And of course, that includes getting to bed at a reasonable time at night. You've probably heard people say, and they did not address this in the sleep study, but I've heard it say many times, and anecdotally, it's been very true in my life, that for every hour of sleep you get before midnight, it equals 2 to 3 hours you might get if you go to sleep after midnight. So you do want to try to get to bed early at a reasonable time. Turn off your digital stuff, turn it off, turn off the TV, cut down on the stimulation, even turn the lights down a bit, sit, read a book, do something old-fashioned, read a book, even making a phone call, but one that's calm. But just get off the digital stuff that excites your brain cells, and let your brain calm down so that you can actually go to sleep. Give it a chance. Give it a chance. You might get frustrated the first couple times you try that, but guaranteed, give it a chance, make it consistent, and your body will acclimate itself to going to bed at a time that is better for your health. Okay, so sleep. That really should have been number one. Number two was talk at a higher pitch and vary your pitch level as you talk throughout the day. 3 is just talk less. Talk less as much as you're able. I have a way that I can structure my private lessons when I am struggling vocally like this, and that includes helping my just teaching my students an exercise or two, and then taking them through the fullness of their range with those exercises, so they spend a lot more time singing than I do. Have them working on a song. Okay, now that's teaching. How do you get through teaching day? But if you can, at your work, your place of work, or whatever you're doing, if you can try to structure your day so that you are doing less speaking. But when you do speak, speak at a higher pitch. And then 4 is water, 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 water. And I hear conflicting things on this. Some people say don't drink carbonated water. I do, because I like it, find it refreshing. But you definitely want to cut out, this is gonna make some of y'all go, cut out the syrupy, sugary sodas. Cut out the extra caffeine. Doesn't mean you can't have your cup of coffee in the morning, but was talking about carbonation and such. This is clear sparkling water, nothing in it but the carbonation and minerals. And this is probably of the carbonated beverages when you're sick, that's probably the best you can do. But try to stay away from your diet Coke and your Pepsi and your Dr. Pepper and your Mountain Dew. All right, now speaking of those things, also, one of the things that does not help you very much is caffeine. Caffeine is a vasoconstrictor. So vasoconstrictor or vasodilator, whatever it is, it does not help the constrictor, does not help the blood flow as well. It'll get rid of your headache if you have one, but it does not help the blood flow in your whole body. So have your cup of coffee in the morning if you need it. I understand. And then just try to limit or cut out the caffeine for the rest of the day. So we got we've talked about sugar, we've talked about water, and sugar in moderation. So this is not the time to go binging on cookies and cakes and whatever, or candies. Sugar is going to actively not help you recover as much as you could. Again, that's a cellular thing. I don't understand all the science of it. I have been taught it in the past, but I really, without brushing up on that, I couldn't tell you more, but I do know go moderate to very low in sugar when you are sick. Again, and alcohol in moderation only, and cutting it out totally while you're sick is even better. Eating lightly, keeping your system kind of light and responsive. Hydrate. Okay. When you are sick, also, one of the biggest things you really need to do is do your warm-ups and your cool downs. Do not skimp out on your warm-up when you are sick if you have to sing. Let's say, because this has happened to me before, you have to perform on a sick day. You cannot get out of it, whatever, it's your best friend's wedding. Okay, been there. A hack, but it's not for regular consumption, not for prolonged use either. But a hack is to suck on a lemon, and or it can be something else. Lemon gets to the point, but lemon or lime. But an orange can also work. But if you suck on that and swallow those juices, those have a great way of cutting through the congestion and the phlegm, and also on a temporary basis kind of can soothe those membranes. Ironically enough, you might think that the acid would inflame them, but it doesn't on a short-term basis. But you do not want to do it repeatedly for a number of reasons, which I won't go into right now. But just that's a hack if you have to perform. If you need to practice, I highly recommend warming up with your singing straw. And I've got both of mine. This is my one that does not require water, but you can use it with water. It's got the clamp that provides me with the resistance, or use a teeny straw. And this is even still a lot. You can kind of close off the end of the straw with your fingers. Because remember, as I've talked about with straw singing, which is semi-occluded vocal tract singing, you want to provide some reverse pressure to your vocal folds so that you are actually bringing relief because you are bringing pressure from both the top and the bottom. So I'm going to do a little of this right now, and you can grab a straw, whether you're sick or not. You can grab a straw. If you have just like a McDonald's straw, you can pinch the end or cover it part way with your finger. Again, you're just looking for that little bit of resistance so that you are providing that back pressure. So I'm going to do just some waves with my voice. Take a breath. Don't work to the extreme ends of your range. You don't want to go to those terminal points while your vocal folds are not in optimal condition. You want to kind of keep it to the center of your voice. So now I'm going to do some intervals. I'm going to do thirds, fifths, and octaves in little glissandos or waves, however you want to call it, like this. And you can hear my vocal fold. It's not hurting, but you can hear that when it skips, that means that there is inflammation somewhere on there. Because I am back pressuring this, it's not harming my vocal folds. I'm equalizing the pressure. It's not harming my vocal folds. And in fact, it tends to have a bit of a soothing, healing effect. So, and this is, again, just like if you really want to warm up and sing a little bit on a sick day. Let's do another. I'm going to find a different pitch and do the same intervals. Thirds, fifths, octave. I'm going to switch to this because it provides me with a little more lip grip. It's nice to have one of those little silicone lip grips for if you're using a stainless steel straw. I'm going to use my surgical tubing. Oh, got to make sure that it has enough resistance. There's our new pitch. Just to give you kind of a little comparison, when I was doing this, I had a lot of air escaping out of the corners of my mouth because I didn't have any extra that lip grip thing. It enables me to fit my lips around the tube better, which keeps the air focused and keeps the back pressure more efficient. I'm going to stop there on the high. I'm going to do one more. I'm going to go down instead of going up this time. So, but go roughly back to where I started. Mm, You should feel and hear air coming out here. And just as a reminder, if I pinch my nose, it shouldn't make any difference in the sound because I am not humming. I'm not humming through my nose. I am actually singing out my mouth, phonating, and so the air is coming out my mouth, not through my nose. Okay, so that's enough of that. We're gonna do just some glissandos, descending glissandos, like this. Kind of look like I'm playing an alp horn. With this technique, it really doesn't matter if your cheeks are Louis Armstrong or like this. It really doesn't matter as long as you're being efficient with the air and still sending it in the same place and that it's not coming through your nose. Two more glissandos. I'm gonna do ma number one, ma, 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 okay, but just on the pitches, not saying ma. I'm gonna switch to ma number two. Ma, 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 but without the mama. Okay, that's all I'm going to do for today. You can do more if you feel vocally up to it. Another just few tips to tack on here at the end. One is try your best not to clear your throat, that strong clearing. That really irritates your vocal fold membranes. So you want to instead use saltwater gargle rinses, saltwater sinus rinses with using distilled water, so no impurities in the water. And ideally, you're going to use some type of salt that's kind of designated for this kind of use. Neomed, I've already done teaching on that kind of thing, so I won't go into it. But you can also just do your grandma's remedy, warm water and sprinkle some salt in it, let it dissolve, and gargle and spit. Gargle and spit. Try to get the gargle as far back as you can. Do not swallow. As far back as you can, and then expectorate. That can help, really help with the mucus. Don't sing through actual vocal pain. I'm not experiencing pain, but I am starting to experience some vocal fatigue. So I'm going to wrap this up here. But don't sing through actual vocal pain. If there's vocal pain, give it a day or two of rest and try again. If the pain persists, there's probably something else going on and you should go see an ENT. Let's see. Practice an anti-inflammatory diet when you're sick. If you don't already, the Mediterranean diet is excellent. It's very highly anti-inflammatory. Try to go for lean protein and stuff like that. So, but you can look up anti-inflammatory diet on your own. But that's excellent for when you are sick, and it's excellent for all the time. I can't say that I am perfect at it by any stretch of the imagination, but I kind of I went keto for about 9 months, 1 year, felt awesome, but it wasn't sustainable with my family. So I kind of evolved over into the Mediterranean diet, but I didn't know that was what it was called. When I heard of the Mediterranean diet, I was like, oh, that's what I'm doing, basically, with a few aberrations here and there. All right, my dear friends, please, I'm not sure if we'll have a core training next week. We might. I typically, as I've told you guys, I have a very wound down program in July and August so that I can spend time with family, travel, etc. We did have an awesome time in Europe. Really, really amazing. Edinburgh, France, central France, a day in Paris, Oxford, and then 1 day in London, because we got bumped from our flight. So we ended up having a day in London. So it was wonderful. Thank you if you prayed for us. Appreciate it. Please do let me know if you have questions you want me to address in future Q&As. Please hit me up for anything that's got you stuck for week 4, what's in your way week. Definitely want to help you get unstuck. If you are stuck, tell me so I can help. Tell me so I can help. Okay, that's why I'm here. All right. Blessings to you. Keep singing.